Hello?
Gaga?
Hello.
Hey, we've missed you, honey.
Serious.
How are you? I miss you too. I miss being on the radio.
We're so glad you're back. There's been a void, and today it's filled.
Thank you. It's very sweet.
I do feel like we need to catch up with an old friend because I think it was probably 2 years ago when Born This Way, the day Born This Way came out, you called us and we got to talk to you and experience that morning with you. And I still remember you were in a hotel room and you described what you were wearing, some t-shirt, and your mom was with you and your best friend. Now Applause is out. It's #1 in dozens of countries worldwide. What's the emotional difference from today versus 2 years ago when Born This Way came out?
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, it's so different because I have a totally different relationship with my fans. We have a much deeper connection, and I traveled all around the world touring Born This Way, spreading that message, and those fans spreading that message really changed our connection and made us stronger. And putting out Applause now and giving them a pop record and a video that I knew that they would love, it was something that I wanted to give them like a gift, really, to thank them for always standing by me.
Wow. And how did you choose Applause? Because obviously you have completed the entire album, which comes out on November 11th, but how did you do the unenviable task of choosing which of your babies to let the world hear first?
I did not choose it.
Oh, you didn't?
Okay.
I don't actually like to choose my singles because, I consider myself to be a musician and a songwriter and a creative, but, I'm not necessarily good at selling the song.
Okay.
So I have wonderful people that I work with that, we listened to the whole album and they loved everything that I played, and Applause was the last song that I played, and they said, oh my God, that's it, that's the one.
Wow.
So they chose Applause, but how many songs did you play for them?
I wrote over 70 songs while I was on the road.
What?
So I just spent a lot of time writing music, and when I listened, I just picked the best ones. I picked the ones that I knew were the hits, the ones I knew the fans would love, and it really harkens back to my obsession with the club scene and everything that I did growing up in New York, because now I'm still playing clubs. They're just my clubs.
They're just massive.
Yeah, you're no longer lighting things on fire at Joe's Pub. Now you've got the pyrotechnics.
When no one's around, I'm still lighting things on fire.
And Gaga, there's been so much buzz about the new album, and I heard that you're collaborating with people like Cher on the new album. Are there any hints you can reveal at this time about that?
I won't tell you who the features are on the album yet, but you will have more of an idea on September 1st when I perform for the iTunes Music Festival, because I'm going to play new music when I'm there. That was really important to me.
The song Applause, I was wondering if you mean those words, I live for the applause, as an intense statement, because when you play 50,000 person arenas, does that fill you up to the point where you really feel full, or when you leave the stage you feel empty?
Well, I feel full for ages and ages after I leave the show, and I feel full while I'm on stage. So much I feel alive. I feel it's my destiny. Being a performer has always been what I was meant to do, and I love it so much. And when I was, breaking at the end of the tour and I had to stop the show, I was writing Applause, and I was writing about how when I was on stage and they cheered for me, it took away the pain, and the adrenaline was the thing that kept me going. But without their cheers, when they all stopped and I went home and I couldn't perform it, I realized how much I live for it, and not for the attention, but for the feeling of doing something that makes people happy and makes them cheer. I really want people to know that about me as a performer. I know that I'm sort of, I guess I am over the top. I shouldn't say sort of. I know that a lot of my work's very theatrical and over the top, but it's not just designed for attention. It's designed for making you happy, for making you smile, for making you laugh, for making you cheer. And to be fair, without attention, the performer does not exist.
Right.
So I'm quite aware that people don't necessarily like it when a pop star has an opinion or thinks that they're artistic or thinks that they're creative. They want us to be sort of stuck inside this box of good song and a great picture, but I've always wanted to exist outside of the box. This album is a refusal to get inside of it. Because it straddles the edge of it, and it's an art race.
And I think it inspires other people to also express themselves fully. Some people are not courageous enough to let their their true expression come out, but sometimes they need someone maybe such as yourself to have the wings for themselves to fly.
I really want my fans to take that away from this album. I want them to know how much I want them to be stars in their own right and how much I support them. And I believe in their power as a community, that when they are together, that they belong.
You know, I would be remiss to not take this opportunity to thank you as a gay citizen of this world for giving a voice to the voiceless, specifically people in Russia and the kids that you're helping and everyone that you give a voice to, whether it be for the cause of LGBT or the cause of just being yourself. You know, I just want to take an opportunity to thank someone like yourself who is actually affecting positive change.
That's very sweet, but the reason that the change is happening is because of you, and it's because of the LGBT community speaking out and telling their stories and sharing their lives with one another and fighting for it. I mean, I'm just one person, you know, and I really, really love my fans, and I really, really love the gay community because growing up, that's who my friends were. And I didn't have any other friends because I was a theater kid.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember many rehearsals with my, quote, girlfriend, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, but we're all a bunch of gay guys and we live for these girls, honey, because they got all that hair. And really, not much has changed. I'm now a grown adult and I'm like, oh, Gaga's my theater friend.
We have the same interests, you and I know that, you know, with my fans and I, that's sort of what bonds us together, is that we're all into the same weird stuff.
Well, you made such a big entrance with this song coming back because it really did feel like we genuinely missed you. Where were you? Were you just chilling out, hiding
gone.
somewhere? You were really in hiding because we didn't hear anything for a while.
Well, I was on tour for a while, so I was on my world tour for like a year and a half, and then, you know, I always go away for that long because I'm very, very lucky and blessed that I've had as much international success as I've had, so it takes a long time to go to each country and play for all those people and to give every monster in the world the opportunity to see me live, and it takes a while, so I did that, and then my hip broke right before we were finishing the last 20 shows, and I had surgery, and I was in a wheelchair for a while, and every minute of every day I thought about my fans, and I dreamed of being back on the stage and prayed that, you know, I'd be able to dance again and that it would be the same, and I worked very, very hard, and I had my heart set on creating a music video that showed them the hard work and the discipline that I was willing to go through to make them happy again and make them care for me.
Some of these poses you strike, I mean, it looks at one point you got this really strong stance on a mattress and it looks like, I don't know, like intravenous drug use, and then the next moment you look like a corpse fashion model rising up, and then the next moment you're a swan. I mean, like the physical imagery, it is so iconic.
Thank you. That's very sweet of you to say. And that's interesting you say that because the inspiration behind the video was iconography in motion. So, you know, the applause video for me, what was important was showing my ability as a performer to transform without makeup and mask, and change the muscles in my face, change the way I hold my body, and the idea was to show when you freeze the frame at any point, you could still hang it on the wall, but it never repeats itself. But somehow you still feel that you're experiencing this image in a very complete way.
Well, we definitely get it in a complete way from the video, but how do you transfer that to a live performance, like at the VMAs this Sunday?
I've had a lot of time to think about it.
That's true.
6 months, a year.
What do you go through when you think about, okay, how do I top Paparazzi or the factory of Gagas that you produced another time? I mean, your performances are always so memorable.
I mean, I've been writing all my ideas, pulling references. We'd lay on the floor for hours and hours and hours, and we push the work until it looks new, until you can't see the inspiration behind it anymore. It just sort of floats above and becomes transcendent, and that's what I was really trying to do with this album, is push myself to show my fans what I am capable. For the MTV Award, it's the most physically challenging performance I've ever done.
Really?
Yes,
Oh my gosh.
and I'm working very hard and rehearsing every day, and I'm hoping it will be a performance that the fans will not forget.
You're just such a hard worker. Even when you had that time, it sounds like your downtime when you should have been recovering with the hip, you sound just like you were working all through it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I love what I do, and for me, rehearsal is 99% of the work, or 110% of the work. It doesn't just happen when you hit the stage. For me, it doesn't. It's a rehearsal rehearsal process. It's a studying of every single element and how I can make it better, how I can top myself. And it requires hard work and discipline. And I have refound my passion. And what I realized more than anything is that I care not for the fame at all. I find fame to be an incredible source of artistry for me, the art of fame. But fame is what it's become in celebrity culture now. It's not what I want at all. I want to be on a stage performing live for people and making them happy so that they care.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, you're a theater kid. And
yeah,
that's,
absolutely.
I get it. I actually saw the how to experience art tutorial that you did, and it made me think, because I'm just a grown-up theater kid at this point, you know, and I'm like,
right.
That reminds me of being in the theater and rehearsing all night long and doing those exercises and lying on my back and doing the vocal work, and I was like, I get it.
You know, I come from a different school of thought. I don't believe in just hopping on the stage and going for it. I believe in living, breathing, and sleeping your art and giving it everything you've got.
And I told Dana, I said, from my theater days, entrances and exits are everything. And if anyone knows how to make an entrance or an exit, it would also be Gaga.
Yes, and the skeleton in between. What's your roadmap? Where do you go? Where do you land, and why? I think about that all the time when I'm figuring out exactly where I want to land on the stage at what moments in the song and how it relates to the fashion and the words. So it was important for me. You know, I was sad when the record leaked early because I felt with this song, you know, it was most of my work. My music isn't the kind of music that people want to look at, and it often doesn't make perfect sense until you see it all together.
We did get so much more out of it. We heard it first, and then when we watched it, we were like, oh, I get it.
We got even more of it.
The light bulb went off.
It did.
You're like,
it did.
Weird. Oh,
No,
I get it.
I wouldn't even say it was light bulbs. It was like dynamite and fireworks.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, honey.
You turned into a goose at one point.
Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, please.
It was not a light bulb.
Yeah, no.
Like, it was an entire Manhattan. There was a blackout. Like, the flip was switched. It was a blackout.
Thank you. I'm so glad you love it. You know, I was so nervous because I love it so much. And I can only make what really turns me on creatively. So I can only hope that the fans will love it as much as I do. And when they do, like they did today, I just burst into tears. I was so happy. It was a dream come true for me.
Yeah.
The greatest gift that they can ever give me is just to be happy with what I give them.
Yeah, well, we cannot wait to see you at the VMAs and break a leg, and we're
Thank
so
you.
happy to have you back.
Thank you so much. You're so sweet, and thanks for playing applause.
Oh, and by the way, you're kind of looking more gorgeous than ever. We saw you on Good Morning America.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I haven't even seen it yet.
Oh, you
Looks
look
amazing.
beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for spending time with us this morning, Gaga.
I'm very grateful to be on the phone with you. I've missed doing interviews and talking on the radio.
Well, we're so glad you're back in the spotlight.
Dana
so
and Jeffrey
we
are
enjoy.
always here for you.
Thank you. Ta-ta.